Welcome to the Female Stoic Podcast. My name is Stephanie Poppins, and I am an advocate for literary empowerment. That means I believe in the empowerment of women through the examples set by Stoic authors of the past. The likes of the Bronte sisters, Jane Austen, and L.M. Montgomery, to name but a few. In each weekly episode, I will be delivering Stoic advice with the help of these women and others from the Bluestocking Group. This advice is designed to both inspire and empower you on the journey to becoming the best version of yourself you can possibly be. By referring to the struggles of powerful women from the past and relating these to our struggles as women today, we can gain a further understanding and appreciation for our role as women in the 21st century. And if you like what you hear, you might consider looking me up on my socials, where I post empowering videos every day. Or you may like my classic audiobooks and original stories available on my website. Happy listening. So before we get started today, I just wanted to talk about why this podcast. Why should you as a woman be listening to this podcast? Well, this podcast is all about empowerment, and that's of course not possible without education. And as we know, education in the 21st century takes many different forms, this podcast being one of them. There are so many male voices in the Stoic sphere speaking for women, and it seems to me only relevant that I, as a woman, throw my hat into the virtual ring, that virtual arena wherein voices and ideas are bandied about. I believe there are not enough female creative speaking words that the world needs to hear. We're more than just makeup and gossip and repurposing of content already in the public forum. We are our own content. So let's speak about our plight and empower ourselves with the words of those who have already been there. And it's important to establish from the start, we as women don't need to beat men. We do not need to take on male roles. I would say I'm pretty masculine in my approach to things, but that doesn't mean I want to be a man. Gender neutrality, I believe, is an insult to us, and it oppresses us. As Mae West once said, the curve is more powerful than the sword. Mae West had a dominant approach that could be considered quite masculine, but did that make her want to be a man? It certainly didn't. This podcast is all about embracing our femininity and seeing it as a superpower. And this, for me, works every time. So let's go to the question for this week. Kaylee from Birmingham messaged me and asked, is success all about money? Without it, I obviously can't survive, but I don't have that drive to be rich. Does this mean I can't be successful as a 21st century woman if I'm just happy paying the bills and living my life? My parents and the people around me are telling me I should be gaining more money. I should be accumulating more wealth. But I'm not really interested in that. Is this going to be a problem for me? I live on my own, she said. I don't really seem to have much ambition, apart from making my creative content. Now I'm going to use a quote from Elizabeth Montagu to answer this. Elizabeth Montagu was the wealthiest and most influential founder of the Bluestocking Group, which was a small organisation of privileged women who gathered together from about 1750 onwards to discuss literature and the arts. She gave female thinkers and creatives that recognition and financial security that they struggled to find elsewhere in a society which then rebuffed women for being intellectual. Together, Montagu and her friends advocated for female education at a time it was seen as unbecoming, and they argued whether a woman of 40 should actually be more ignorant than a boy of 12. Now, how we know this ties into Stoic philosophy, how we know the Bluestockings were interested in it, was because one of the friends was Elizabeth Carter. She famously translated the handbook of Epictetus, a great Stoic philosopher of the 1st and 2nd centuries. This epic endeavour made Stoic philosophy more accessible to the Bluestockings and society itself, and it influenced their thinking on virtue, reason and self-control. Elizabeth Montagu was quoted as saying, "The Muses crown virtue when fortune refuses to do it." What she's saying here is, true lasting recognition and honour come from the realm of art, creativity and intellectual achievement, rather than from fleeting luck or worldly success represented by fortune. She's implying that while external circumstances might not always favour us, our contributions and inherent worth are acknowledged and celebrated by those who appreciate true excellence, and it's up to us to decide what we want to be appreciated for, what we want to be remembered for, what we want to own. If we maintain our virtue, the adherence to our core set of morals and values that we hold close to us within our Stoic circle of control, then we can maintain a sense of achievement without attaching it to a sense of wealth. The Stoic circle of control, also known as the dichotomy of control, is a Stoic philosophical concept that divides all things into two categories, those within our control and those outside of it. It emphasises our focus on the efforts and energy we put into what we can influence, our thoughts, actions and responses, and the acceptance of those things we cannot control, external events such as other people's actions. So things within our control are our internal states, our thoughts, judgments, motivations, desires, and reactions to situations. We can control what we are focusing on. And obviously the things outside our control, external events such as other people's actions, their opinions, the past, the future and so on, we can't directly dictate these things. So we have to decide how important our virtue, our core set of morals and values is. We have control over these. We have control over the focus we place upon these. If our focus is then the attainment of our own inner peace, that attainment which is not tied to external forces such as the attainment of wealth, for example, or the wealth other people think we should have, we can maintain that set of inner peace, which is in itself success. The measure of success is how far you've come from where you began. Success is understanding that we can control and master our emotions, master the focus that we place upon what we choose. If we choose not to measure how successful we are according to how much wealth we have accumulated, and if we choose to understand we are successful by mastering our emotions, our feelings, and our inner peace, we are by definition successful. In Stoic philosophy, there are 4 principles known as the 4 cardinal virtues, and these are wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. These virtues are considered essential for living a good, fulfilled life. Wisdom involves the ability to discern what is good and what is bad. It's about understanding the nature of things and making sound judgments based on that understanding. This quote by Elizabeth Montagu falls into that category. The second virtue is justice, which emphasises fairness, honesty, treating others with respect, acting in accordance with what's right and upholding moral principles. Then we have courage, not necessarily physical bravery, but the mental and emotional strength to face adversity, to persevere through challenges, to stand up for what is right, even in the face of fear. And last but not least, temperance, self-control, moderation, balance in life, avoiding extremes, managing desires, passions and impulses so that we can practice repetition to create momentum, to create a foundation we can build our life upon. This repetition is of good practice, daily exercise, healthy eating habits, mindfulness about where we focus our time and what we do with it, for example. So according to Stoicism, these 4 virtues, they are all connected and they work together, and they can guide us towards a virtuous and fulfilling life. The way we can build our life and our path to living in accordance with nature and reason. It's all about mastery of the thoughts we have, the understanding of our core set of values and reinforcement of that, the knowledge of who we are, and the management of our emotions in order to create a stability that we can rely upon when things get chaotic. And things do get chaotic from time to time. So we as Stoics understand that the emotions we feel in response to this chaos are within our control. That's not to say we suppress anything, but we manage it and we understand that emotion is a fleeting experience and it is something that we cannot attach too much power to. In Kaylee's case, she understands that obviously she needs a certain amount of money, but she's quite happy not to have the drive to be rich, and yet she is attaching emotion to the thoughts of the people around her. She is hearing from her family that she should be striving for more. She should be driven to achieve more. And what she's saying is, she's quite happy in the circle, in the environment she's in, as long as she can manage what she's doing. And she is seeking affirmation as to whether that's okay. And what my advice is, what is your core set of morals and values? It is those you should be focused on. It is your set of virtues, and worrying about the opinions of others and how they perceive you, those forces external to your circle of control. Attaching emotion to those outside of this circle of control, it's detrimental to your inner peace. So practice the Stoic virtue of wisdom. Understand how they feel about you is beyond your control, so let it go. This is your life. As long as you remain organised with your finances, aim to save a small amount each month and stay focused on your artistic endeavours, this focus will bring you rewards over time. And this is what you are doing. You are putting your energy into something that is building something a lot faster, but that does not grow immediately. Any artistic endeavour takes time. And in order to remain true to our vision, that's what we do. We stay focused, we practice repetition, we keep working slowly and building something, whether those around us can see the immediate effect of that or not. It doesn't matter. What matters is you are staying true to your virtues. Thank you for listening, and I hope to catch up with you next time when we look at another question and use the examples of female Stoics of the past to guide us to the conclusion. See you next time.